Hi, I want to tell you about a story about my dog. He has a really, really big name. And people are always like, oh my God, like what a large name. His name is Coral St. John. And I'm going to talk to you about how I came up with it.
Why would we name that? The name came to be.
I'm going to tell you how we got the name.
So I went to an island called St. John, and it's actually a part of the US Virgin Islands. It's underneath Florida, where some of those Caribbean islands are. And I went there on vacation for about a year.
St. John Island in the Virgin Islands.
So I went back in 2017, and if you remember, that was the year that the hurricanes Maria and Mike really devastated that area. But that happened in September, and I bought a plane ticket in July. This was back before COVID, when if you already bought a plane ticket, that was too bad. You couldn't change it. So I ended up going anyways because I figured the people in the area needed my money to support them.
And that's important because before COVID, you couldn't cancel your flight, you couldn't change your tickets. You get what you get.
So I went during Christmas, and a lot of shops were open, but a lot were closed because of the hurricane. And many people refused to go because of what was going on with the hurricane. But I really enjoyed visiting all the different places, and it was actually Christmas Eve, December 24th, that I met my baby girl.
And on December 24th, I was with my baby girl, my daughter, my sweetheart. And
So, December 24th, I was with my ex-husband and two other friends, and when we were leaving a food store, this woman came running out saying, wait, 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 take this, take this. And we were confused as to what it was, and it was actually a really small dog. And my ex-husband was saying we have to take it, and I was saying, we have two dogs at home, I can't take this dog. And then he said, but how can you resist those puppy eyes? And then the woman told us that this dog had no home because his home was destroyed in the hurricane.
And so we adopted the dog.
So we asked how old the dog was, and they said 4 weeks old. 4 weeks old, super young. But I was scared. I mean, I never taken care of an animal that young. All my other dogs and cats were above 8 to 12 weeks old. And so we tried driving to an animal shelter to see if they could help us, but unfortunately they were closed because of the hurricane. So we kept asking around if there was anyone who could help us with this poor little dog. I mean, it was shaking, it was so small, and we were just trying to find some help. But my phone was losing service. Everyone's was losing service. However, I had AT&T, so mine was still working.
Telephone lines.
So I finally got a text to come through from the animal shelter saying that we could indeed bring the little dog in, and we brought her in, and we found out that she was in fact 4 weeks old, and my husband at the time was begging us to take her, and I was like, we have 2 dogs at home, but okay, fine, we'll take her. We weighed her, she was only 1 pound, she was little, very small, and we got her all her shots taken care of, and we got the form so that she could fly with us on the flight home. However, the form said that she was 8 weeks old because airport policy dictates that animals have to be 8 weeks old to fly.
Only 4 weeks old. So we would have had to wait for 4 weeks until we could fly back home.
So I knew I needed to get supplies for this baby dog, but I didn't have any, and the vet that we went to didn't have enough baby food either. So they said that I could go and needed to get food and milk for the baby,
The vet gave us a list of all the things
and that the vet gave us a list of everything that we needed to go get.
set up, give it to a dog. Different vets we could go to different vets and see if they had stuff. And so we got a whole list of things that we needed to do. And we were in a serious time crunch because this was all on December 24th, Christmas Eve, right before Christmas, and all the stores were going to be shutting down soon.
So we tried a couple different food stores, but again, because of the hurricane, a lot of them were closed or a lot of them were out of the supplies that we needed. And when we finally got everything together, I had to get 4 things: a can of goat's milk, bottle of goat's milk, some different types of dog food, and then some yogurt as well. I bought a baby bottle and tried feeding her with the baby bottle, but she was confused, she didn't like it, and so I would just mix up all the different things that we bought into one bowl, and she ate it up. She would absolutely love it.
And the dog went to it right away. He broke his face, ate all the milk. How was that? The other ingredient was yogurt to rid her dish.
So every 2 hours, I would have to feed her, and I would have to, take her out to pee every 2 hours. So even when I was sleeping, I was having to get up and take her outside and feed her. But she was very good about going potty outside. She knew to pee and poop outside.
Sometimes, accidents happen, and St. Carl St. John did go to the restroom in that house. But for the most part, we understood that outside is where we go to the restroom.
So about 2 days later, we actually met Coral St. John's brother, and he was a bit bigger. And I posted on Facebook asking if anyone would want to take him, if we brought him back to the States with us. My husband at the time was begging me to take him as well, but I said no. 4 dogs is way too much. And so I was contacting people. I was getting really worried because we were about to leave, and then we finally found a family in Massachusetts that said that they would take Coral St. John's brother. A lot of people were asking, how old is he? How big is he? How big is he going to get? And those were answers I didn't have, but the Massachusetts family wanted him. So yeah, the reason I named my dog Coral St. John is because we found her in Coral Bay on St. John Island. Her sign name is this, and that's her sign name because remember she couldn't see because she was so young, only 4 weeks. She still couldn't see, and my husband at the time had a beard, and so whenever she would come and play with us or anything, she would rub up on his beard. So that's her sign name.
For milk from his mom. My husband at the time, he had a beard. And so our little Coral St. John, 4 weeks old, would come up to my husband's chin and start biting, looking for some mommy milk.
So when we were ready to fly back, remember this is during the hurricane, and we lived in Rochester, New York at the time. So uh, only 2 airlines were flying in and out of that area at the time, American Airlines and Delta. And so I contacted Delta and said, hey, I have the certificate for this puppy that needs to fly back home with me. And they said, no, leave the dog there. And so I asked Delta, and they said the same thing, told me the same thing, no, leave the dog there. I contacted a 3rd airline, and they said it was fine, but then you would have to be rerouted and then arrive in Rochester, New York later.
Leave the dog there. So then I contacted USDA and they said maybe fly with us.
And then they would pick us up from there and fly us to New York.
We're trying to figure out a way to get this dog home.